What's going on, everybody? Welcome back here to the Justin DJ channel. Today, we are starting a new series going over every single college football conference, one per video. Obviously, you got the Power Four now instead of Power Five. And then I'm going to do one just dedicated to the whole group of five. If you guys are new to the channel, you notice. And if you're guys new, you don't notice. If you return to the channel, you notice. New setup here, new place. Now we have the Cincy flag and the LSU flag before we just had the Cincy flag. Of course, we're bringing back the red lights. We had those last year, and they were fire. So we're gonna start here with the ACC first one. There's some stuff, right? Because I'm recording this after week 0, so I already know Florida State lost, but I didn't have them as my winner anyways, so that doesn't change anything. Sorry, Florida State fans. I never thought you were winning the conference, and I still don't now that Georgia Tech is beating you. It's probably I've got a list here on my phone, so if you see me looking down, you're referring to my notes, you can say. So I'd say like the main contenders are probably Florida State, but yeah, Clemson, NC State, good teams. Virginia Tech and Miami as well, good teams. Miami obviously hit the transfer portal hard. NC State with their new quarterback, Grayson McCall, hit the portal. Clemson's Clemson. They're always kind of in the race. And Virginia Tech, they returned, I believe it was all 21 or all 22 starters. Could have been 21 and 22 or something like that. But they returned a whole bunch of production. Who I'm picking to win though is Miami, and I know everyone does like they're overrated every year. Everyone overrates them every year. And people say that. This year, I don't think they are overrated. I think they are the best team in the ACC. They hit the portal hard. They got Sam Brown, the wide receiver from Houston. Cam Ward is, I think, the big one. I think he's going to end up in New York at the end of the season. I think he's going to win the Heisman, but I think he's definitely going to be a finalist. And they got Damian Martinez, the running back from Oregon State. They really beefed up that offense, really beefed up that team. I think Miami, to say they're going to have fans might be a little outlandish, but I think they can win the ACC for sure. They're a great team. I think their top competition is probably NC State, in my opinion. I'm not a Florida State or a Clemson believer. I do think NC State is probably the second best team in that conference. I don't really believe in Louisville. I know a lot of people pick Louisville to win the ACC. I don't believe in them this year, but if you do, cool. As far as positions go, we're going to go each position by position here, listing some of the top candidates and then who I think is the best at each position in the conference. So starting at, main one, quarterback, right? Kyron Drones for Virginia Tech is a really good player. We just mentioned Cam Ward and Grayson McCall for NC State and Miami, respectively. Preston Stone for SMU, who played and looked a little rough against Nevada, and then DJU, who also played and looked rough. Kind of who I think are the top quarterbacks in the conference. You could maybe go like a Max Johnson from North Carolina if you think he's the best guy. Thomas Castellanos of Boston College is cool. Like he's fun, but I don't think he's the best quarterback in the conference. I am going with Cam Ward. I mean, I just said he was going to be in, New York for the Heisman ceremony. So I kind of have to go with him after that. As far as running back goes, you've got Amarian Hampton for North Carolina, Damian Martinez, we mentioned at Miami, and Jaden Ott for Cal. New member of the conference, as weird as that is, Cal and Stanford in the Atlantic Conference. It's been talked about a lot, but still weird to me. I am going with Jaden Ott, though. Junior guy, I've been following his college career since he was a freshman. He put up crazy numbers, got even better last year. I think he's the best running back in the country. Good draft prospect. I haven't gotten to his tape yet, but I know a lot of people have been talking about him, and he's my pick for best running back in the conference by far. I think he's such a good player. Cal's not like a highly rated school, so I think a lot of people kind of have their guys under the radar, but Cal's really good, and Jaden Knott's a really good player. As far as wide receiver goes, Xavier Restrepo for Miami, Colin Lacey transferring to Louisville, and Kevin Concepcion from NC State. I'm going with Kevin Concepcion. Most people would probably go with Restrepo, I feel like, but I think Concepcion just brings another level to the game, and I think him with Grayson McCall is going to be one of the dynamic duos in this conference. They're going to be so good this year, dude. And then offensive line, I guess we'll probably go to the tight end next, right? That makes more sense. Go from wide receiver to tight end. Oronde Gadsden and Nesbitt from North Carolina. Gadsden from Syracuse, probably my top two picks. I'm going with Gadsden. He's probably in the conversation for tight end one in the draft. Syracuse is going to be an interesting team for sure with Kyle McCord coming in, but Gadsden's like, he's been there forever. He's a good player, former wide receiver turned tight end. So I'm going to go with him as my tight end pick. Offensive line, Darius Washington, the left tackle from Florida State. Francis, I believe I'm saying this right, Maui Goa, the right tackle from Miami are kind of my two picks for offensive line. And I think I am going to go with Francis. I'm going to refrain from saying his last name because I can't get it right. I'm going to go with Francis from Miami as best offensive lineman in the conference. Big recruit there, the 1 or 2 years back for Mario Cristobal there at Miami. I think he developed really well. He's going to be my pick for that. This one may not look great. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw I talked a little bit about Patrick Payton struggling against Georgia Tech. Well, I did pick him as my best edge rusher. Him and Kyman Rucker were kind of my two options. I like Patrick Payton a little bit better just because I like the speed and athleticism. However, he didn't look great in that Georgia Tech game, so we'll kind of see how he carries on as far as the year goes, if he can improve, build on what he did last year. But he's going to still be my pick. For defensive line, you can look at Thor Griffith. He was the Harvard transfer into Louisville, or you can look at Peter Woods, highly rated 5-star going to Clemson. And I am going with Peter Woods for my pick. Clemson should have a good defense this year. That's almost a given every year. This year, I think their defense is going to be really good because you're also looking at linebacker. And I've been listing off like multiple candidates for every single conference or for every single position. I really don't have one, any candidates because it's just Barrett Carter for Clemson. I mean, he's I think by far and away the best linebacker in the ACC and probably the second best in the country. We'll get to who the best is later if you guys keep following. I'll be posting these conference preview videos throughout the entire week. So if you guys are a fan of a team of specific conference, maybe it's not the ACC, you can wait for that one. You can watch all of them if you want. Leave a like, subscribe. You'll see all of them. Then we go secondary, kind of combine the secondary and just safety and corners into one. Quincy Riley from Louisville, Dorian Strong from Virginia Tech, and Azariah Thomas from Florida State. I'm going to go with Azariah Thomas for my pick for the best corner. And yeah, that is my ACC conference preview recap. Did pick Miami to win the conference. I think Virginia Tech and NC State are their top competitors. As far as that all-star team of players went, it was Cam Ward, Jaden Ott, Kevin Concepcion, Francis Mauigoa, Orlando Gadsden, Patrick Payton, Peter Woods, Barrett Carter, and Azariah Thomas as best at each position in the ACC. You guys in the comments should let me know who you think is going to win the ACC, as well as who you think player of the year could be. As far as ACC player of the year, it's probably going to end up being a quarterback, right? And by my logic, it would be Cam Ward because I think he's going to be in New York. I think it's him or Jaden Ott or Marion Hampton could be one of those competitors as well if he puts up a massive rushing season for North Carolina. But I'd go with one of those three players. I would probably end up going with Cam Ward as my final decision for ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Barrett Carter. I don't really have any other choice. It's Barrett Carter. But yeah, you guys let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the ACC as well as Offensive and Defensive Player of the Years for the conference. If you want to watch the other conference previews, they will be well, this one's coming out first, but the rest will be up throughout the week, so you can keep checking back and get those. But yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next episode.